Welcome to Iowa City in Focus. On today's show, we'll learn about new homes available for purchase through the City of Iowa City, and we'll meet some of the people that help make the Iowa City Jazz Festival happen each year. But first, let's go to City Manager Tom Marcus. Tom?
Thanks, Katie. We're here with Chris Ackerson, and Chris is an Assistant Transportation Planner with the MPO of Johnson County, and he's also half-time as a Transportation Planner with the City of Iowa City. So maybe you can first clear up the acronym alphabet soup a little bit regarding the MPO and explain that.
Yeah, when the federal government began distributing money in the late 70s to local governments for transportation projects like roads and transit, they required that the municipalities create a metropolitan planning organization. And at the time, the Johnson County Council of Governments was already in place and had their moniker, and it seemed logical to the people at the time to incorporate the role of the MPO into JCCOG. And over the last 25 years, there's been some confusion about whether or not JCCOG is the MPO or not. And just this last year, when the board was updating its bylaws, they recommended making the change. It's a cosmetic change only, but it helps clarify for the public what our role is.
Right. Why don't you just briefly talk about what the role of the MPO is, not just here, but across the country? What do MPOs typically do? And I know there is some variation from MPO to MPO, but what happens here in Johnson County are our primary functions?
The primary function is to provide a source or a funnel for federal funds that come from the federal government for roads and transit, essentially. But then, in addition, we also provide a way for the municipalities in Johnson County to communicate and stay on top of projects and work together. So it's a way to increase communication as well.
Okay. I know you personally, and I know as a part of your role with the MPO, you're a big bike advocate, and we've had a number of initiatives where we've tried to encourage people to bike to work or even walk to work instead of using their vehicles to go to work. What can you tell me about some of our initiatives regarding bike to work and how have they been successful, and have we sponsored any days where we encourage people to come out and give it a try?
Yeah, the City of Iowa City has been really supportive of the annual Bike to Work Week events. They've provided typically $1,500 to provide prizes, and this year the local committee created a website called thinkbicycles.org for a local coalition of bike shops and advocacy organizations. And that website served as the primary port for people to get information about Bike to Work Week this last year.
Okay. What about the bicycle library? I've been by it a few times. I actually stopped in and talked to the folks over there. Is there some involvement with them? How do we work with them, and how do we get them participate in our advocacy for bike to work programs? Can you talk about that?
Well, it's a really unique relationship. The city provides the operational space on College Street for free. The Bike Library is a nonprofit that takes used bicycles and refurbishes them. All of the bicycles are donated to the Bike Library, and volunteers fix them up and then loan them to residents. And you can borrow a bike. You put down typically $35. And if you want to return the bike, you can and get your money back. But you're also encouraged to keep the bike if you want to continue using it and essentially buy the bike for $35. So it's a great way to reduce the amount of bikes that end up in the landfill and encourage people to ride. It's a great way to get around campus.
Okay. I know you personally ride your bike to work on a regular basis. I see you, and for some people that may be toying with the idea of riding their bike to work, a lot of them would probably be thinking, well, maybe from April through November would be a good time. But I see you in the middle of the winter riding your bike to work. And do you have any tips for our viewers as to how you prepare yourself for some of the more blustery days?
I guess the biggest thing is probably having appropriate tires,
Right.
for when the roads are slick. And I know several people who will ride during the winter as long as the roads are clear, and wait after snowstorms for the plows to get out and for the roads to dry up. It's surprising how much of the winter the roads are just clean, dry pavement.
One of the other things I've noticed since coming to Iowa City is the extensive number of trails and our emphasis on continuing to build more trails. Can you just speak briefly about some of the trail initiatives right now?
Yeah, sure. There have been a number of different grants that have been awarded. The city was given money to connect to Napoleon Park with Terry Trueblood Park. And when that project is completed this summer, it will enable people to ride from downtown all the way to Terry Trueblood Park and around the lake and back to downtown. And then again, this summer, the county and the city of North Liberty are constructing a trail along the entirety of North Dubuque Street. So you'll be able to ride from downtown Iowa City to North Liberty and on to Solon if you'd like.
Great.
On a grade separated trail. So there are going to be some really great projects.
All right. Well, I'm getting the sign that we have to wrap up. Maybe at another time we can discuss the trail system in more depth. But thanks for coming on, Chris, and I enjoyed talking with you.
Thanks for having me.
The City of Iowa City Flood Recovery Buyout Program is still going on. If you are interested in this program or need further information, please contact Doug Onge, City Hall, Level 2, Planning Department, 410 East Washington Street, Iowa City, Iowa 52240, or call 319-356-5479, or fax 319-356-5217, or on the web doug-onge at iowa-city.org.
Welcome back to Iowa City in Focus. It's time to take a guess as to our June mystery person. Take a look at this short video, and I'll be back later in this program to unveil whether you guessed correctly. The first weekend in July, Iowa City comes alive with jazz music, hosting one of the nation's top 10 jazz festivals, the Iowa City Jazz Festival. Let's take a look.
This is about the most fun anybody can have on the 4th of July, I think. And we just heard Steve Grismore, and the guy's an amazing arranger. He's a great author of music. And then this band behind us, this Tornadoes, yikes, where are they from? They're really fun. It just makes me want to dance.
Incredibly rewarding to see the amount of musicians and of all ages that come out to see the great music.
For me, it's keeping the music going and evolving and exposing people to cutting-edge sounds, too.
And it was brand new stuff and instruments that I've never seen or heard, really funky stuff coming out. It was great.
So we do it all. We really cover the gamut of different genres of the music.
If you don't like one band, stick around, and there's always good variety.
a great opportunity for local musicians, college musicians, and youth musicians to come and get experience playing at a prime jazz festival. Not just from an audience perspective and educational experience, but for students to come together and be able to play music for a crowd of people and get cheered on. There are high schools, Iowa City High School, West High School here in Iowa City, Cedar Rapids, Washington, so many different bands that are represented in the area. It's incredibly educational for them to continue playing music throughout the entire summer. I also like the ability for so many different groups of people to come together on one weekend and enjoy one thing, and that's music, and enjoy, on top of that, the social aspect and just camaraderie of getting together with all these people.
Look at all the people we get here. This is just one of the reasons you live in a town, of course, is the friends you make and the people you meet, and this is just great, the diversity we have here. Wonderful.
I really enjoy the Iowa City Jazz Festival. We are from Milwaukee, and Milwaukee is known for its festivals, and this one is very nice. It's very similar.
Let me see, I've been here for 9 years now. Believe me, I've been traveling around the country. The Iowa City is where my heart is. It's a beautiful place, I love it.
I like the people, I like the community, I like the Jazz Fest. It's an awesome event. I remember when Mark Ginsburg started it years ago and people thought he was out of his mind, and look what it's turned into.
I love being a part of this because I think it's one of the coolest festivals around, and it's right here in Iowa City, Iowa.
So that's why I do it.
City Channel 4 recognizes Emma J. Harvat, the first female mayor of Iowa City. Emma Harvat was an important historical figure in United States and Iowa history. In April 1921, Harvat ran on the Republican ticket for alderman at large and was elected. She served in that position until June 1922, when Iowa City's mayor resigned and the city council appointed her as standing mayor for the remainder of his term. Harvat thus became not only the first woman mayor of Iowa City, but also the first woman mayor of any city in the United States with a population over 10,000. Harvat was re-elected by the public to a second term. Her administration was known for running the city like a business and opposing bootleggers during Prohibition. I believe my experience and training in business won the election for me, she said. During her term as mayor, Harvat organized the first juvenile home in Iowa City and began paving Iowa City's streets. Bringing the female perspective to problems in city government, she immediately separated female and male offenders in the city jail. Harvat served as mayor until 1925. Born in Iowa City in 1870, Emma Harvat was the 9th of 10 children of Czechoslovakian immigrants Joseph and Mary Harvat. She was educated at Iowa City High School and Williams Commercial College. She started her professional life as a store clerk at her uncle's stores, Lee Brothers Book and Stationery, but quickly bought into the business and became a partner and advanced to owning her own business, a ready-made dress shop with her business partner and friend May Stack, and founded the Iowa City Professional and Business Women League. Later, she became involved in real estate, home building, and as a landlord. Emma Harvat's home at 332 East Davenport Street in Iowa City was placed on the National Register of Historic Places, and Iowa City's Civic Center was designated as Emma J. Harvat Hall in the year 2000. Harvat was an Iowa woman of remarkable vision, professional achievement, and originality who was a pathfinder for civic leaders in our state. She died in 1949 at the age of 79. She was inducted into the Iowa Women's Hall of Fame in 2007.
Once a real time mama, here's your opportunity.
Thanks for watching Iowa City in Focus. Before we go, let's return to City Manager Tom Marcus. He's speaking with Tracy Heitschuh about some great new initiatives that help make Iowa City a great place to live and work.
Hi, I'm Tom Marcus, and we're back at City Hall today with Tracy Heitschuh, City Planner, and she's going to talk to us about the CDBG program, both from a business standpoint and a residential standpoint, and what CDBG means and how it helps our community. So, Tracy, if you can give us a little background, I'd appreciate that.
Great. The City of Iowa City receives Community Development Block Grant funds every year. Back in 2002, the city decided it was very important to start funding businesses that create jobs for low to moderate income folks in Iowa City. Small businesses they're locally oriented, they can be profitable, productive businesses. So we've allocated about $900,000 to date. We've assisted 17 businesses either open or expand. We work with local lenders. People do get confused. They think they're grants, but they are loans. We're more flexible. We get referrals from banks. So typically when a small business opens or expands, they're either collateral thin or capital thin, that a private lender will loan them money, but they don't want to take all the risk. So we get a referral from a bank. They'll say they can fund this business at 50%. Can we put in the remainder? And so we come in with a low interest loan. We go up to about 7 years for working capital.
Okay.
And we get those money, and as they pay it back, then that money is available to loan to other small businesses in Iowa City.
Okay. And you have a couple of examples that maybe you could
oh, sure. Out of
talk
the
about? Yeah.
We've had 17 businesses. One of the first ones was Breads by Anna. It's called Gluten Evolution. They sell breads for people that need gluten-free diets. We've assisted Drywall Corridor, Home Ec Workshop up in the north side. We've recently funded the Paper Nest, which is downtown Iowa City. They're a bookbinding and printing business. Discerning Eye, the Wedge Pizzeria. So we've assisted quite a few local businesses.
Okay, and then so once these businesses get going, do we stay in contact with them to make sure that
Yes.
they're surviving and
Yep.
doing okay? And
During the length of the loan, we keep working with them, and then as a requirement of the loan, when they get the funds, we partnership with the University of Iowa Small Business Development Center, and they have to go through a technical assistance training. And
Okay.
if anything's identified as a need, typically, if there's a small business owner, there might be some assistance needed with accounting, taxes, marketing, things like that, then the Small Business Development Center will schedule technical assistance for those issues, and
Okay.
during that year they have to get those in order to continue to get our funds.
great. There's also a single-family new construction program that I think CDBG works with as well, and maybe you could talk about that a little bit.
For sure. Due to the 2008 floods, we are buying out approximately 90 properties in Iowa City along the floodplain. The state wanted to assist cities make up the tax base for the loss that we would be getting from losing those properties. So we've been rounded 3 rounds of the single-family new construction. We will build 108 homes. The average sales price of those homes are about $165,000. So when this program is done, that's about over $17 million in new assessed values for the city.
Wonderful.
Now you have to be income qualified to apply for these homes. Due to the 108 homes, this has been it's been a slow real estate market, and so we have kept
Right.
a lot of contractors busy, home suppliers busy with the 108 homes we're doing. We started in 2009, 2010, and we hope to get the majority done this construction season.
Where are they located? Are they scattered around town, or?
Yes, because it has to be new construction, vacant land. A lot of them are on the periphery of town. They're located in north, the Peninsula neighborhood. We have some in Old Town Village. We have some in Village Green. We have some off of Sycamore Street. So they've been around the city.
Okay. And how are they being received? Are they, are we selling the homes?
Oh, yeah.
Are they being saturated
Yeah.
or picked
Yep.
up throughout the community?
Oh yeah, it's a great deal because you get 25% of the down payment of the acquisition price at closing.
Okay.
So they've been selling well. We had 40 homes in the first round. Those were all built and sold in 2009, 2010. The second round was, we received funds for 37 homes. 2/3 of those are done. Only
Wow.
2 remain to be sold.
Great.
And then round 3 funds, we are accepting applications now until April 7th.
So if somebody wanted to apply for an application, get an application to be considered for one of these houses, how would they go about doing that?
They would contact the city at 356-5230 or look on our website at icgov.org/new homes, and we'll continue accepting applications until all the homes are sold.
Let's switch gears. Let's talk about the Town Crest redevelopment project. I know that we've had that presented to the City Council, and I know you've had a number of community meetings in that area with the businesses, with the residents in the immediate area, and you've come up with a plan to redevelop that. Maybe you could talk about that and how we would go about funding some of the improvements that we're planning to make in that area.
First, we did receive a lot of comments from residents in the area, businesses and property owners about concerns that they had regarding declining property values, crime, streetscape traffic problems, increased commercial vacancies. And so we went through a public process. We hired the RDG group out of Des Moines to provide a design plan that would guide future development when it comes to public improvements, building redevelopment or new buildings, and streetscapes.
Okay.
With that plan, we were also offering financial incentives. The area is a great area. It is close. It's on 2 arterials. It's in walking distance to Lucas, Southeast, and City High. Has a great grocery store, has banks, has pharmacy. So there's a lot of pluses about the Town Crest neighborhood.
Right.
So we are interested in incenting development and getting new redevelopment in an area that probably hasn't had a lot of interest in the last probably 2 decades.
Right.
We have multiple financial incentives. One is our gap financing that we're using. For any type of catalyst project, this would be significant reinvestment or redevelopment of a new area. We're providing up to $300,000 in a forgivable loan for what we consider a catalyst project. We also have pre-development assistance for those types of projects that would assist with architectural engineering or any type of environmental assessments, and that's up to $25,000 as a matching grant. Now, for business owners that aren't approving or not considering a major substantial redevelopment, we also have a facade improvement program where we will assist up to $25,000 in a matching grant for exterior facade improvements that are in line with the Town Crest design plan as we've envisioned it and how council has approved it. In addition to that, we did make it a tax increment financing district, so there are TIF funds available for redevelopment, and Depending on the project, there's municipal bonds, and we can use, as I mentioned earlier about the CDBG Economic Development Fund, if a business wants to go into Town Crest and they meet all the federal requirements, we can assist with CDBG funds as a low interest loan.
So this is an area that is not into a major deterioration, and it's kind of on that edge where we want to make sure that we get back in there and start to invest and make sure that it doesn't turn in the wrong direction, but turns in a much more positive direction. And so you're trying to incentivize some of the improvements to get this area back on track and make improvements.
Oh yeah, I mean, we definitely have concerns about certain areas or certain pockets in Town Crest, but overall the neighborhood is vibrant. There's a lot of positives there, and we just hope to encourage some redevelopment, reinvestment in the area.
Well, that wraps it up for today, but thanks for updating us on all the work that's going on in the planning department and the use of CDBG and some of our redevelopment projects. Thanks, Tracy.
Thanks for having me.